What is up, everybody? How you doing? This is the Art Cat. What is it? This is not the Early Bird Artcast. This is Making Comics with Marsh and Chris, episode 17, and it is go time with my boy,
Yep.
Mr. Chris McQuinlan.
What up?
How you doing, man?
Good man. I'm not sure if you realized, but I actually just left to grab a
Yeah,
drink and
I
started.
did. I said I'm like starting, and then right after I said that, you're like, I'm leaving, and I'm like, oh. So it worked out, but
Right. Did
just
like a
right.
little man shuffle. Got my drink back.
Yeah. So right at the front here, we're gonna do a little something different. Let's see. Let me screen share the what I meant to do. We're gonna do something a little bit different, and
Mixing it
hey,
up.
check this out, guys. What's going on here?
Oh,
We got a Kickstarter going on, and it went up. No, it always confuses me because it shows the Australian first, and then it pops over to the American money. But it did go up a little bit since I last checked. But
that's so weird to
guys,
see it like that. I'm like looking at your price and I'm like, where'd all the money go?
yep. So Monkey Junk Chapter 1, guys. Let's make this happen. He's got he said about close to 2/3. We got to get there. There's only 4 days left. There's no reason we can't make this happen. Usually there's a jump in the end, and we're looking for a big jump. There's no reason. And to be honest, it's not like, last time you kind of asked for what you ended up getting last time after during the stretch goals, I guess it seems.
Yeah, this is
Um,
about the same as what I made in the last Kickstarter for sure. Yeah.
and this is definitely a bigger deal. The other one was awesome, but it was like a one shot thing, and it was cool, awesome. I got the book somewhere. I think I have it right around here somewhere. It's a cool book. This book's gonna be like so much better than that, though. And it's just kicking off such a cool thing that Chris is doing. You guys definitely got to check that thing out. The link is it in the description? I don't want to lie. I can't, I think I forgot to put all the links, which is no problem. I'll put them in right now. But
Cool.
um, yeah, the links will be in the description in a few minutes. So, but definitely check out Chris's Kickstarter. If you just go to Kickstarter and type in Monkey Junk Chapter 1 or just Monkey Junk, I'm sure it'll come up. You can get full access to
I
the
can guarantee
awesomeness.
you it is the only monkey junk on Kickstarter right now.
Yes.
Actually,
Cool.
and to be even simpler, like you guys can just go to monkeyjunkcomic.com and you can find it there too.
Yes, that's
It'll
true.
take you directly to the Kickstarter.
In fact, what I'm going to do for this episode is I'm just going to put that link and that's it in the description.
Boom.
So it will
That's
be
a good idea
consistent.
because when the Kickstarter's over, that'll go straight over to the new website. So that's a good plan, my man.
So it's just monkeyjunk.com.
Monkey Junk Comic.
Yeah.
So I have discovered in America somewhere there is a band called Monkey Junk. So I had to make sure that I differentiated it to a Monkey Junk comic. But I've been itching to reach out to those guys and be like, hey, I have a comic book. We share the same name. We should collaborate. And I can do like a comic book about your band or something. Like, that
Are
would
they,
be cool.
are they any good?
I actually haven't even listened to them yet.
Yeah, you might want to do that first
I
before
was in
you
a
start.
slightly disgruntled state, and I was like, oh, these buttholes stole the name of my comic book. But it's all right, because if you search Monkey Junk online, most of the results these days, I'm pretty sure, are focused around the comic book because I've been posting that much recently. No, nope, we go straight to the band. They look like a bunch of old dudes.
Uh-oh.
They seem nice. They got a little bit of a punk look about them. But if you
Sweet.
do Google Monkey Junk comic, then you get all of the good stuff.
All right.
Lots of stuff. And for some reason, Futurama. So there you go. Thank you. Very
So
kind for the plug, man. That's much appreciated.
yeah, the link is officially in the description, and everybody, even if you can't pledge or if you already have pledged, I mean, this is the last 4 days, so please, share it everywhere, anywhere you possibly can. You can share this episode if you want. That might help, but if it's probably easier, better just to share the actual link. And yeah, just share the love.
Yeah, then.
All right, we're gonna make this happen.
Haha.
All right, so
Regularly scheduled programming.
yes, sir. So, speaking about all this, what have you been doing this week, sir?
Oh man, this week has been very, very hectic. Where do I begin? So, what day did we do? Did we do the same day last week, or did we end up doing on Tuesday? I can't remember now.
I think we did it on Tuesday. I could be
Yeah.
wrong though. I don't really remember, to be honest.
Well, for the most part, I've been working on the same page I was working on last week because it's been a pretty hectic page for me personally. There was a lot of changes that I had to go through just to sort of get it right. Like there's a big, I don't know if you guys can see my screen at the moment, but there's a big sort of explosion scene on the bottom panel. And I had to redraw that a few times to get it to a stage that I was really, really happy with, which you can see where it's at now. So pretty much finished now. I'm just putting all of the paneling, all the grays in, and then I'm just going to do all the paneling and lettering. And this page is done, so it'll be up tomorrow on Patreon. Next to that, I've been just going mental on Kickstarter. Actually, no, we did do last Monday because last Tuesday I did an interview with the really awesome Jeff Lafferty, which was really cool. I actually had a real blast on his channel. So if anyone ever gets the opportunity to jump on his channel with him, it was really enjoyable. I've spoken to Jeff before, but never one-on-one. And I feel like I got along with him better than I was sort of anticipating, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Friday, the next 2 days were sort of a blur. It was just me working on the Kickstarter, doing some work on the children's book, sort of trying to smash through that as well. And then Friday, I took Friday off from work because I had the Artcasters show in the early afternoon with Josh and Scott. And that was a really cool episode as well. We sort of talked about marketing and sharing ideas. And conveniently, Scott is in a situation where he, sort of needs to be focusing on that too. So it was a really, really good discussion. So I highly recommend you guys check that out on Scott's channel too. And one of the things I did, which was really exciting and somewhat comic related, was there is a new comic book shop open near my place. I think it's been open for about a year or so now, but I'd never been there. So I took the time out and went down there on Friday morning, took the family out for coffee and checked out this comic book shop. And I'm actually going to be there. So for anyone who's in Australia who's watching, or anyone in Melbourne, I should say, I'm actually going to be down at the shop, which is called Secret Headquarters in Beaconsfield. I'm going to be there doing free sketches this weekend. Unfortunately, the Kickstarter will be complete by that point, but I will be there promoting the book and also selling some of the other books too. So that's really exciting. So I got down, checked out the shop, I met the owners. Just really nice to actually, find another comic book shop that I can go to and hang out at, which has really good coffee around the corner, which is always good.
Always a bonus.
Yeah. But next to that, the majority of it was focused on the Kickstarter. After talking to Josh and Scott, I built up the courage to just start contacting some bigger names, like people that I really admire, like Jason Brubaker, Anthony Holden, and Scotty Young, and that, and actually just messaging them directly or shooting them emails or whatever the best contact is for them. To be honest, it hasn't garnered any response yet. Although I have been talking to, if anyone knows, Tom Taylor, who works on he works for Marvel Comics at the moment. He just got announced to write the new Spider-Man series.
Oh wow.
Um, he's a friend of mine from way, way back when I first started doing conventions. Before he started, I think it was around the time he was doing Star Wars for, I think it was Dark Horse. Um, he's actually been chatting to me a fair bit and helping me out, and not so much in regards to the Kickstarter, but more on the long term when it comes to once the book's published, what I should be doing. And he sort of set me on the path that I am now planning a holiday slash working trip to go to America in 1 to 2 years,
Oh yeah, that's right.
which is really exciting. So it was quite interesting because I'd made this decision that I was going to go to America and I was going to do a con and meet as many creators as possible, pimp my book out, take as many issues as I've got at the time, and hopefully get some really good contacts from it. And then I mentioned to Jazz, I'm like, oh, so this is what I want to do, and I'm like, would you want to come with me? And she just looked at me like, of course I want to go to America. Like, there's no way you're going to America without me. So it's going to be a big family trip, which will be pretty cool. So we're going to do hopefully maybe a little bit of hopping around. If we can afford it, if we can save up enough, I want to go for like a month and sort of hop around a few places, like spend a week in Cali and um, spend a week in New York, maybe get down to Florida, try and make an effort to visit some guys, like some of you guys, the 100s that I know down there. I'd love to go to Portland because I've heard it's just such a beautiful city. I'd love to go to Chicago. I'd love to go to Jersey, would be wicked too. So if we go, it'll probably be a really big trip. And in between all of that, I'll probably fly out and do a couple of cons while I'm out. So,
That
um,
sounds really expensive.
yeah, it's going to be, which
Like
is why we're looking at about 2 years. So
I
we sort of
live
did
in
the math.
America and I can't even afford to go to California and all these places.
Yeah, we're probably looking at about like on a rough budget, $20,000, sort
Wow.
of our rough figure. So yeah, it's pretty crazy.
What's your plan to get that money up? That's like most of what I make in a year.
um, just work and hustle and keep doing, um, just keep doing comics, keep doing commissions, keep doing maybe children's books to make up all the extra cash, pretty much.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
just whatever spare way that I can make some extra money, I'll make it. Um, and Jazz might be able to find a job as well, a part-time job, so we can start putting that money away too. So I think once we set the goal, it'll be easier to save the money. But like we haven't really planned a holiday in a long, long time, so we've never really put away for one.
Yeah.
So having that goal will make it achievable. I think we can actually start budgeting and figure out how much money we need to save. And we're also looking at going to Tasmania next year as well, which is sort of just on the bottom end of Australia. You've got to catch a boat to get there, though. So um, we got some friends who live over there, and that'll be a relatively cheap holiday, but it's one we've been meaning to do for a while. So push back America by a year and then go to Tassie for a week or something. But
Well,
yeah, I mean, that was all
if you do
like
end up
such a
making
really
it,
weird thing to sort of eventuate from like, hey, how do I get my comic out there? So now I'm planning a holiday, but yeah, it's
so what is this guy's? Well, first of all, if you do make it, hopefully, if you make it, you end up going to like New York and or Boston or even New Jersey. Those, if you go to those places, I should be able to find a way to come hang out with you for a little bit.
oh cool.
Um,
I'll definitely be in touch with everyone to try and figure something out.
yeah, I definitely would like to. And then also, what is this guy's like? Like what did he say that made you feel like this is like a really cool idea? Like I'm just curious what the thought process is on. Like
To be honest, it was such a simple comment as, "What are your thoughts on going to American conventions?"
hmm,
And that was it. And was honestly something I'd never
I mean,
strongly
did he
considered.
pitch it as like that was something that was helpful for him, or is he from America or is he from Australia?
He's from Australia.
Yeah, so I'm
But
assuming he
yeah,
kind of pitched it that it was helpful for him.
yeah, and that's pretty much what he did. He went to America and pretty much bumped shoulders with all the right people that he could, and he's very charismatic as well, and that works in his favor, I believe.
Right.
So, and I know a few Australians who have done that, where they've actually gone to America, you know, knocked shoulders and gotten work in that way. So once he
Oh,
said it, and I was just like, why didn't I even think of the concept of going to America or even going to Canada to
so do
get
you
my work
think
out there?
that, like, because it sounds like he does like professional work for the big two and stuff and different companies. Is
Yep,
that part of your goal? Is that something? Is that what you're trying? Like you're seeing he did that and you want to try it too, or?
completely. Yeah, with Monkey Junk, I want to make Monkey Junk first and foremost, if possible. I want that to be the viable income down the road. So mixing that with doing commissions and just sort of being a self-sufficient artist. So no, not so much a freelance artist, but being a comic book artist who
Mm-hmm.
does fan art commissions and that sort of stuff. Um, I think that's quite possible. I think I just need to build the audience, and I'm going to use Monkey Junk to increase that audience. But if I can get work with someone like Image or Dark Horse or IDW, I'll definitely snatch that up as well. I mean, it will probably put Monkey Junk on the back burner, but to give myself some actual comic book credits and
Yeah.
increase my audience further again, I think it would be super advantageous. So if I can get work doing other properties, I'm all for it. As long
So
as it means that I can do it in my style. Like I don't really intend to try and learn how to draw like Jim Lee just so I can get some comic book work.
so yeah. So you're gonna start doing some putting together some samples then, right?
Yeah. Well, by the time I get to America, say let's say it's 2 years from now, in theory, I should have the whole first arc of Monkey Junk done, like the first 6 comics, in theory.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to just walk up with 6 issues of my comic and go, here's all the work I've done in the past 2 years whilst working full time,
Do you think
hopefully.
Do you think you could fit in some pages of like some Marvel pages or something?
Some
Like,
sample work. Yeah,
yeah.
I definitely think I could if I incorporate it into my timeline. I'd like to do some cover work as well, so I'll probably do some cover samples.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I
but I mean,
mean,
ultimately,
your work is, in my opinion, like your work is definitely professional to the point where if you found, if you pitched it the right thing to the right publisher, I think there's no reason why they wouldn't consider you. Your stuff is definitely up to par, I think.
thanks, man.
Um,
Yeah, and like but within the next 2 years as well, I hope it can only get better than what I am at now. And like, I'm noticing a sort of a large rate of progression by working on Monkey Junk because I'm just constantly working on it. I'm seeing things that I'm drawing now that I'm like, oh, I just don't think it ever would have looked that good a year ago.
yeah. Well, I wonder, like you could obviously pitch for like some of the indies for sure, just with your comic. But I wonder if there's any books right now that Marvel and DC are doing that are more around a similar style as what you're doing, and if there's a way you can get a script or make up a fake script or use one of their comics, and try to rehash it or whatever and kind of,
I think it'd
do
be
some
fun to do
samples.
to definitely do something like maybe Spider Man or
Yeah.
something like that. Something that's got a little bit more of a childish edge to it, or can potentially have a childish edge to it. So
Yeah.
I can just do some sample pages in a new style, or even Ninja Turtles would probably be a really good one.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
bring in like Invader Zim back. That's stuff I could work on, or Adventure Time. Like there's plenty of stuff I could probably sink my teeth into and do quite successfully.
I would assume Adventure Time though has to be in that style. I don't really know though. I haven't seen any books or anything, but I could be
It
wrong.
does, but it can sort of lend itself a little bit to the creator as well. It doesn't have to be like 100% to the style guide from what I've seen.
Okay.
Kind of like the Simpsons comics.
Hmm.
Like they look like Simpsons comics, but some sort of have a bit of edginess to it that's not quite that Matt Groening style.
I never know how to like do a commission for something like that is so stylized, like The Simpsons or whatever. Like I always feel like I'm just gonna end up doing their style, like
Yeah,
instead of like my own version of it. It's kind
seen
of
some really good stuff too. But yeah, my mind doesn't work like that very quickly.
yeah.
I've seen people do like anime Simpsons. And I'm just like, oh, that's just another level.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
Cool, man.
enough about me, man. I'm pretty sure that wraps up my week. Like it was productive. Like it was just busy and productive. How was your week?
My week was it was fine. It wasn't anything special. I really did the bare minimum this week. I The only thing that I think I got done that really moves the project forward in a way that is important. I mean, I did stuff that moved it forward, but it was just kind of literally the 30 minutes a day thing for whatever reason. It's just been kind of crazy, some of the stuff I've been trying to juggle, I guess. And so I kind of been doing the bare minimum. But I did this weekend get like the whole comic planned out as far as like writing, which is literally like 8 bulleted list with like a sentence per bullet. That's like how I write these days. So um
That's good though, man. I think that shows progression in your process. It's good.
yeah. So I got that done, which is kind of the most important thing because I know once I get like going on this story, it'll just go pretty quick. So I'm excited about that. I'm gonna be working on I'm gonna be starting really working on thumbnails today, and hopefully I can get that done like super quick. And then I've already done some pages and stuff, but or one page, one and like a quarter page, I guess, inked. And so I'm gonna probably just kind of beef that up, and hopefully I can just be rocking like by next week, be rocking and rolling on pages. And I think once I get to that point, it'll go somewhat quick. And I think that it might end up being we're gonna be working on uh, corncob robin, and I think that it might end up being um, a two-part story, and I might just do like half of it this month, and then next month I'll do the next half. I don't know because I feel like once I get rolling on it, I'll just want to finish it.
Yeah,
Even though I have a different story planned for next month, but I don't think it really matters. Nobody knows what I have planned. I can just change it. I have like the next like until next year planned out of what stories I'm gonna do and stuff, and
wow,
it's,
that's
it's not a surprise.
impressive.
I can just keep working on the next one each time. So, but yeah, and then I also I did read some comics. Um, I read Teresa's comic. If anybody knows Teresa Del Pilar, I think is how you say her last name. She is one of the people who's done the 100 Days Making Comics, and she's on Webtoons. I think it's called The Graduation or something. Is
I
that is
think
that
so.
what her
Yeah,
comic is? And I read the next chapter, the second chapter that she finished, and that was really cool. I really enjoyed that. And
I
then
remember reading her first chapter when she released it, and I really enjoyed it. So we'll definitely be reading the second one. I just haven't got around to it.
yeah, it's a super quick read too, so it's not like you have to put aside too much time. But it's enjoyable for sure.
Interestingly
And
enough, just sorry, I quickly interrupt you.
it's fine.
Um, when I was at the comic book shop the other day, I picked up some of the indie comics that were there,
Mhm.
and like all of them Australian comics. And I pulled one up called Space Cops, which is one that my friend works on. And in
Mhm.
the back was a single page comic by Teresa.
Oh, really?
I was like, what the hell?
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was like, this is sick. It was really cool too. So shout out to her for that.
That's
It's
so
rad.
cool.
Infiltrating the Australian market.
So yeah, that was really good. And then also, Skyheart came in the mail. Um,
What?
yeah, so I read that already. It's weird. I don't know how many. I have it right here. I wonder if the pages are numbered. It seems like it's a pretty thick volume.
It looks hefty. Like I watched these snaps where he was signing them all, and I'm like, there's some pretty good looking books.
Oh yeah, they look great.
I
It doesn't.
devoured the hell
I
out of
don't.
that.
I don't see a page count, but it took me about 30 minutes to read it. Even though it seems kind of thick, it's very um like it's kind of like the pages each only have, I don't know, let's see, like 4 or 5 panels usually. I mean, it's just action based most of the time, and
Yeah,
there's not a lot of words. I mean, there's enough words, but it's not super word heavy, which it's just the way I like actually my comics generally. And
yeah. So you
you
were
know,
pretty satisfied with what you got.
yeah, the illustration is beautiful. It opens up this cool fantasy world that you enjoy having, spending time in. It's interesting, and the premise is simple. The boy kind of loses his mother to basically the bad guys, and he's trying to figure out how to save his mom, which is pretty cool. But there's awesome crazy creatures, there's flying pigs and crazy, whales that fly, and it's like Earth, but like in this weird airy, like multi-level world that was destroyed by the gods. So like there's a lot to it, and it's pretty cool.
Right.
um
Better.
and I also read The Chair by Peter Simeti, Alternate Comics,
Oh,
which is a 4 issue series that he did. It's actually the first book that came out of Alterna when they started doing the newsprint, and that was really cool as well. So yeah, got a lot of reading done this week, which is
you
pretty cool.
did. You smashed it.
Well, once I got that Skyheart, I couldn't like just let that sit and wait. I had to check that thing out. So
Yeah, yeah, nice. Actually, I managed to pick up a book myself. When I went to the comic book shop, there was like an op shop, or whatever you guys call it, thrift shops,
mm,
like right next door to it, and they had a really really old copy of an MC Escher print book, just
mhm.
filled with a ton of the prints that he's done. It was
Oh,
fantastic. Yeah,
sounds awesome.
yeah, it was super
Nice.
surreal. Sorry, I keep interrupting you.
No, I'm pretty much done, and I pretty much went into what I plan to do too, which is basically, try to kick butt in this comic. So,
You want me to move into what my plans are for the next week then?
yes, sir.
All right, so as you pretty much mentioned, there's like 4 days left for the Kickstarter. Um, I'm trying to stay optimistic. I really am, but at the same time, I'm also gearing up for. I'm not going to say failure. I'm gearing up for the potential chance that it won't get funded. Which it's a 50-50 at this stage. Like, there's no real signal telling me that it will fund. There's nothing telling me that it won't. So I feel like I need to be prepared for both ends. So
Yeah.
what I'm doing at the moment, what I started doing this afternoon, was I've set up a big cartel store for Monkey Junk, which I already had set up a long time ago anyway. Just hadn't really done anything with it, but I'm now setting it up. So pretty much all of the pledge options that are on Kickstarter are going to be available on the Big Cartel. So if you want to buy the book, if you want to buy the book with a commission, if you want to buy an exclusive print, um, all of that stuff will be available on there, which is cool. It's kind of got me excited because once the Kickstarter's over, I would have had to have done that anyway. But I want to have that ready. So if the Kickstarter doesn't work, I can pretty much immediately message everyone and say, "Hey, bummer that we didn't fund, but want to let you all know that we'll be pretty much following it up here, and you can put all your pre-orders into the Big Cartel. All the prices are still the same. All the options are the same. You can just jump over there now and put your pledge in. And once the books are printed, we will, we'll pretty much be sending the books off to print ASAP. And once they're ready, we'll ship them out to you. So,
sorry,
kind of
which site were you going to do that with? Maybe
Big Cartel. So Big Cartel is just a e-commerce website. So it's free for up to 5 products. Otherwise,
well, yeah, I'm definitely familiar with that, but I wonder if I don't know, maybe it's just too much of a pain, but I wonder if you could try relaunching it on Indiegogo. Just keep everything the same, and then the thing with Indiegogo that I'm actually really liking as I'm seeing these people use it is that once it's over,
you get the store.
if you fund, you can. There's a few different options, but yeah, the store is one of them. You can keep going, and I don't know. It might be kind of a cool idea. Maybe just you could even put the thing for whatever you actually made on the Kickstarter. Maybe you could put the Indiegogo at that level and, see if you can get the same people to come just jump over there or something.
Yeah, I did consider just tidying up the Kickstarter a little bit and trying to trim the fat and relaunching it. But
Yeah.
I'm on a bit of a timeline now. It was set up that if we got funded, I would have had enough time to have the books ready for my first convention, which is on like the 2nd of November. So by running another campaign, there's no way that the campaign would fund in time for me to get the books printed.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, I definitely cut it a bit short, but I tried to push it back as far as possible to make sure that the book was as correct as possible as well. So it was sort of a double-edged sword. So I'm just going to have to just figure it out myself pretty much. And hopefully there'll be enough pre-orders that'll help fund the printing of the book.
Yeah.
So it's a bummer, but I'm just looking at the other options, and hopefully it'll work out. So
Well, it's not a bummer yet. Let's make this thing happen, guys.
well, that's right. But I'm trying to stay positive. Sometimes it's a struggle. I've spoken to a few people about it, and sometimes it's just hard to stay positive about these things when they're just so uncertain. And I'm trying to keep my head well above water as much as possible. So just by being as proactive as possible and advertising the Kickstarter as much as possible everywhere I can, knowing that I've put a lot of work into it and I've worked as hard as I possibly can, whether it succeeds or whether it fails, I know that I worked for it. I worked as hard as I could, and I couldn't have worked any harder than time has allowed me. So
yeah, no, you kicked ass on it so far, so no doubt with that.
So, big warning to everyone who is friends with me on Facebook or Instagram: I will be spamming you guys in the next day.
Yeah, and
Got to get that.
Yeah, again, everybody, please share it for sure.
Yeah, it would be greatly appreciated.
And also, one other thing is Dave Hingley's in the chat, and he said you should try your hand at Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. He said it would look really cool in your style. He thinks.
Yeah, definitely would. Definitely would. I might have to put it on my list. I haven't done fan art in so long.
No, but
Seems
he say I think he's saying like if you were to do like page samples for Marvel, or is it
ah,
Mar? It's
yeah, yeah,
Marvel,
yeah.
right? Who
Of
produces
course.
them? So
Yeah, that's definitely a smart idea. Thanks, Dave. Much appreciated. Much appreciated.
yeah,
Man, so I'm a bit tired tonight. It's been a we just got daylight savings over here, so it's been just one of those like really lethargic days. I never thought daylight savings really affected me, but apparently it does. So, like today, I just woke up and it just felt like a real groggy mess.
yeah. It was weird. Apparently, when we were, I guess Chris was kind of wondering where I was because he didn't think of the daylight savings, but in America, I guess, our daylight savings isn't for another close to around a month now from now. So, um,
It's so
you know,
odd. Let me just do it all at the same time. Get it over with.
I know. Yeah, definitely. So yeah. I don't know. I think that's about it. That's about all I got for today.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, my challenges are pretty simple. Just try and get this Kickstarter happening. Keep working on pages. This page looks like it's nearly done, which is awesome.
hmm
Um, I'll no doubt finish this first thing in the morning because I'm going to go watch Doctor Who after this. I've been
Nice.
excited for it for fucking ages. And
Is it new ones or something?
yeah, brand new first episode of the new Doctor, the female Doctor, which is really exciting.
Nice. I think I'm really behind on it because it hasn't been like they haven't put new episodes. I don't think like on Netflix or Hulu. I don't think I haven't seen them at least, and we do like that show. So
Oh man, get on it. The last Capaldi season was fantastic. Easily one of my favorite seasons.
really,
Yeah, sure.
I don't know if it's one I saw or not. We have is it? I can't remember. Is it Matt Smith or Dave Tennant? I can't remember who's who, but um, one of those guys is the last one I saw.
Matt Smith was the one who had like long hair, longish
Okay.
hair. Yeah.
Um, the one with the bow tie. I have a Doctor Who blanket over here that has all the doctors on it.
Yeah,
So
that would be Matt Smith then. Yeah.
yeah. So
He was cool.
how many has there been since then?
Only one other, so Peter Capaldi, and now there's the new one since then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you are a little bit behind.
Yeah, I don't know why they haven't put it. Maybe I just haven't seen it, but I don't think they've put it on Netflix. We even started watching all of them over again at one point. So yeah, I don't know.
Maybe double check.
Um,
They might have it on there now.
yeah, I have to do
You
that.
definitely need to check it out. There's some good Doctor Who.
Cool. All
Yeah,
right.
that I'll probably I've got to do some Inktober stuff as well because I'm pretty behind on Inktober. And I
Oh yeah.
do all that stuff so I can put them into the all of the orders if the
Yeah,
Kickstarter gets funded. So I have to make sure that I definitely do them.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So everybody make Chris work. Do it. All right. All right, man. Well, I think that's about a wrap for today.
Definitely. Good show, mate.
Um, what's that?
Good show.
Yeah. All right. So everybody, thank you for checking this stuff out. Again, monkeyjunkcomic.com.
Get on it.
Get on it. And we appreciate Dave for hanging out in the chat and everybody else who's watching on the replay or
Thanks,
watching but
Dave.
not chatting. You guys all rock. We really appreciate you guys being around. And yeah, Chris, let everybody know where they can find you.
You guys can find me at monkeyjunkcomic.com.
What?
Yeah.
Cool. And
Otherwise, you guys can catch me on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Chris McQuinlan Art. And you can also check out the Monkey Junk Instagram, which is just pretty much loaded with tons and tons and tons of behind the scenes art and cool stuff at Monkey Junk Comic. Where can they
Yes.
find you, Marshall?
You know, the regular places, donkeyjawprojects.com. I actually just did a bunch of updates to the website and stuff. And also, if you're not a patron on patreon.com/donkeyjawprojects, where you can get my comics, if you're not a patron but you want to get the comics, I put up a Gumroad so you can do it. It's at a different price a little bit, not too crazy, but um, you know, if you want to just read that comic, feel free to jump over there. It's I think if you just look up Donkey Jaw Projects or Darby Cufflink, I put you could find it on Gumroad. There is a link. If you go to donkeyjawprojects.com, click on comics, the option will be there to check it out. So you can kind of go there if
Or
you'd
if
like
you
to
send
read the book.
$1,000 to Marshall Lee's address, he will personally come to your house and read you his comic whilst he puts you into bed with a nice little cup of hot cocoa.
Oh yeah, yeah, I'll
Yeah.
definitely do that. Or if you go to monkeyjunkcomic.com and make this thing happen, I don't know. You know, let me know. I wouldn't mind throwing you a free comic if you help him out.
Oh shit! Yeah. If you pledge and send a screenshot to Marshall Lee, he will give you the comic book equivalent of a reach around.
All right. And with that, yes. All right.
No,
All right.
I went there.
What's that?
I went there. This is no longer PG.
That's okay. That's what happens. You take a risk when you get an Aussie person on and try to do a show. So no, but yeah, that's about it, guys. We really appreciate you guys hanging out with us, and we're gonna close this out.
Thank you
So
guys so much.
have a wonderful week. Later.
Bye.